In this video, I'm going to give you 7 steps and strategies to stop procrastinating. Welcome to Efficiency and Organization, where we talk about having good systems in place, having good plans, having goals, and being able to achieve a lot of things in short periods of time to be more successful in life. So let's talk about procrastinating. Since you're watching this video, you probably already know that there are things that you procrastinate on and you want to change, right? So everybody, I think, procrastinates because there are things that we don't like doing sometimes. And so we put it off for later and later, and then later becomes never. So that's probably an issue with you with some things in life that you don't like doing. How can you combat that? How can you stop procrastinating? So the very first tip I have for you is mindset. You have to make up your mind and be very serious about committing to making changes. So mindset is key. No matter what you're trying to change in your life, being in that mode, being able to tell yourself, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to do everything I can to change this habit. So having the right mindset to change, to stop procrastinating is key. If you make up your mind to change, you will change. You just have to commit to it, and that way you could stay with it in the long run. The second thing that's very important is you have to every day make a list of the things that you need to do to then prioritize what's important and what's not important. So with procrastinating, a lot of times we have too many decisions to make and our mind wanders. We don't know which decision, which action to take. We don't know like how to prioritize effectively everything in our minds. Like if you're a really busy person like me, there are so many things that need to get done and so many things that I cannot possibly prioritize effectively all in my head. So the way I do it is I make lists. Whether you're using a notebook to make a list or you're using a checklist to make a list, you have to write the things that you need to get done. And then from then on, you need to put them in priority order. So I'll give you an example from today. Today is Sunday. I have a lot of things I need to get done. I looked at the list and the 3 things that I did not want to do, absolutely did not want to do. Number 1 was grocery shopping. Number 2 was washing the dog. And number 3 was cleaning the house. I break it down. I clean upstairs the one day and I clean downstairs the second day. We have a 2-story home. Of the 3 things, I was like, okay, which one do I really not want to do? It was grocery shopping. So that's the first thing I tried to tackle. About 9:30, I hit the road, went and got the grocery shopping done, crossed it off the list. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is after you make the list, tackle the things you don't want to do, the things you hate doing the most. Tackle those first. Now, the next strategy is basically my favorite because it works for me so effectively. When I have a list of things I need to tackle and I don't want to procrastinate on them, I turn it into a game. It's like, you know how like when you're playing a video game, there's all these obstacles, all these things you do, and then at the end you win. So that's basically how I look at it. I call it gamifying. So it's a game I'm playing. How many of these tasks that I need to do can I do? So at the end of the day, I can consider myself having won. So for instance, I mentioned to you the cleaning house thing. I mentioned washing the dog. I mentioned grocery shopping. So those are like those things in the game, parts of the game when you're playing a video game that you don't like. You're like, oh no, I know I'm going to get stuck here. I don't want to play this part, but you know you got to get through that obstacle to get to the better stuff, the better aspects of the game. So that's what those are. I like basically make it a game and I go, how many of these things can I do and not put for like the next day and the next day and the next day and not wait and do things last minute. Number 5 is understanding that intrinsic motivation that you're going to get, that self-confidence and the boost of self-esteem that you're going to get when you stop the procrastinating to get things done now rather than later. You probably don't want to feel bad about yourself, right? And when you do procrastinate, you do feel bad about yourself. Why do that? Each day that I don't clean the house, I know I'm going to see the dirt. I know I'm going to see the dust. and I'm gonna feel bad about myself. Why do I want that? I don't want that. And that's why the intrinsic value for me is huge. And that's why I'm going to like make sure that my top 3 things that I didn't want to do today are getting done, because I want to feel good about myself. I want to have that confidence also for the next day to achieve the same, and the following day and the following day, and feel good about myself. Make sure you are taking like the large tasks that need to get done, break them into smaller parts. I will give you another good example. My son is working on getting his driving permit so he can start to learn how to drive. We are trying to study for the test, and this is it. All this needs to be studied so that way he could pass the test. If I look at this whole thing that he and I need to read and study together, it's a huge daunting task. I'm going to probably, like everyone else, try to procrastinate it, try to put it off as much as I can, but then it's not going to get done. His test is going to be on Thursday this coming week, and if I wait until Wednesday, I'm going to be stressed out. He's going to be stressed out. We're going to be very bitter towards each other because we've been putting it off, right, all this time. So my strategy is I'm going to count how many pages there are. And so each day do maybe 10 pages or 12 pages or whatever it is. And by the time Thursday comes, we're done. We've reviewed it and we're good to go. So break large tasks like that into smaller units, because you'll see by tackling the smaller parts, you're gonna feel better and easier about getting things done instead of procrastinating. Next is self-reflection. So breaking a habit like procrastination takes time. It's not something that you can do overnight and that's it. All of a sudden you've never procrastinated again. You're done for good. It's a skill that needs to be built, right? And so what you want to do is each day, or at least each week, give yourself a chance to reflect, okay? Be honest with yourself. I would say use a sheet of paper and ask yourself questions. How many times did I procrastinate today of all the things that I needed to do? Did I make a list like I was supposed to? How many things on the list did I get done? Which things did I say I'm not going to do and I left for the following day? So just see what you want to improve. Ask yourself, what is it that I need to do tomorrow? That's very, very important. What are the undesirable tasks that I could do either right now or do tomorrow? So if you can work on reflecting and thinking again, it goes back to that mindset. If you can say, okay, how am I doing? Am I staying on track? Am I not staying on track? I bet you it's gonna help you with leaps and bounds to change and not procrastinate anymore. There is no like a pill, a magic pill that you can take and be done, right? And so much rides on what you do, especially like the higher up you go in your career, in your business, because your actions and inactions affect other people. Your reputation is on the line. And so overcoming procrastination is a major key thing that you need to work on, so that way you don't develop that reputation, so that you have that boost of self-esteem and self-confidence to do amazing things in your life. One bonus tip that I really, really want to give you is become more self-disciplined. And here's how. Tell yourself, in the task that I need to do, I will not give myself a reward until I get this done. So here's a good example. Each day, there are things that I do to reward myself. Like today is Sunday, so on Sunday nights, I like to watch a couple of shows on TV that they're my favorite shows and I love to watch them. But I tell myself, I will not watch them until I get this gory, horrible, awful thing that needs to get done. Okay, so for example, it could be exercise. Maybe I need to do 3 miles on the treadmill and I'm procrastinating because I don't want to do it. Fine, then that means I'm not going to reward myself later today by going and sitting and watching the shows. I mean, I can, right? I can go sit and watch the shows, but that's the reward that I'm going to hold back from myself. This is how I stay self-disciplined. See, when we're kids, our parents do that for us, right? They reward us for good behavior, and they give us consequences for poor behavior. But as adults, we have to do that to ourselves. We have to have that self-discipline. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to say, no, that's a reward that I'm not going to enjoy until I get done the important thing that I am procrastinating, that I am putting off. As always, I hope that you found the video helpful, and I will catch you in the next video.